Hi guys, welcome back to Nixie DIY Crafts. Today I'm going to show you how to quickly dress up this wood letter. I am gifting this to my daughter's kindergarten teacher. So I purchased this letter at Hobby Lobby, $3.99. I really prefer the paper mache letters, but they didn't have any K's left, so I opted for the wood letter. The supplies I used were scrapbooking paper, Mod Podge and paint, paintbrushes, and a pencil. Step 1. Trace the letter K on the backside of your scrapbooking paper. Line up your letter on one of the sides of the scrapbooking paper. My scrapbooking paper does measure 12 by 12. You can see here that this letter measures about 13 inches tall. I do recommend placing double-sided tape to the front side of the letter so it sticks to the paper before you start tracing it, and the letter won't move as you're tracing. Because my letter is an inch longer than the scrapbooking paper, I'm going to trace the bottom portion of my K on the portion of the paper that I haven't used. For the next step, I am going to paint the edges of my letter K using this lime green. Painting the sides of the letter, of course, is optional. I decided to paint the sides to give it a seamless look, and I chose a color that coordinates with the scrapbooking paper that I will be using to cover the letter. But this step is optional. After I was done painting all of the sides, I decided to come back in and paint some of the portions of the front. And you'll see here in this video that I'm only painting just the edges of the letter K, just like you see here. And that's only because I know when the time comes for me to cut that design paper, I know I'm going to struggle cutting straight lines, and I have to glue this down in the front of my letter K. So instead of it showing the wood pieces not covered, I rather the green come through. So that's why I decided to paint the portions of the front. Once you are done painting your letter, set it aside to dry. Now, tip, I did give the letter 2 coats, and I did let the paint dry in between coats. Because it's acrylic paint and it's just an inexpensive acrylic paint from Walmart, it does dry fairly fast. Now it's time for my least favorite task, cutting straight lines. So if you've been following me, you know that I struggle cutting straight lines. I don't know what it is about staying in the lines that just makes my hand want to shake even more. But anyways, so you see here that I'm just cutting my letter K out using I like the long scissors because it does reach the sections much faster. Less chance of making a bad cut. But anyways, at the end, I still had pieces that I didn't cut correctly, and it's okay. That's the fun of crafting. It's not going to be perfect. It will show some mistakes, but only you can see those mistakes, and that's if you point them out to people. Other than that, it was on purpose mistake. Now that I have all of my pieces, we are ready to add our paper to our letter. So I'm using just regular glossy Mod Podge, and I'm using a foam paintbrush. So I'm starting with the bottom pieces. So I'm just sizing them out, and this is where I realized that I didn't do a very good job at trimming, as you can see here. And these are just rectangles. I don't know why I struggle so much with cutting lines. But anyways, moving along. So I'm adding the Mod Podge to my letter, and then I add the design paper right on top of the Mod Podge, just like you see here, and just press down for a nice seal. You don't want to have any bubbles. So here I'm adding the other piece to the other end, and I'm pressing it down. And again, for any of my cuts that were not perfect cuts, the green will pop out. So here I just flipped my letter upside down and I decided to start from the top portion of the letter, and I'm adding a good amount of Mod Podge to the letter, and then I will add the scrapbooking paper directly to the glue. Because it is wet glue, you do have a couple of seconds to move your paper around just to line it up. So because it is the letter K, I made sure that I was lining it up with the center area. As long as it fit snug in that area, that was what I used as a guide. And here you're just going to repeat the same method. You're going to add a good amount of Mod Podge. If it does get on the edges of your letter, make sure you wipe those off right away, because if not, it will dry like a water bubble on the side of your letter, and you don't want that. And then here I take my scissors and I'm just trimming some of the areas. But that's it. You're just going to repeat this process and then put your letter aside to completely dry. I think I gave it about 20 minutes to fully dry. And then once it was dry, I came back with the Mod Podge and I added the Mod Podge directly to the letter for a nice seal. And then once you finish that, put it aside, let it fully dry, and then that's it. Your letter will be done. It will be sealed, and hopefully it will last that teacher many years to come. So I hope you were inspired by this video. Thank you for joining me. Have a good one. Bye.